This week on Supercars Talk, Triple Eight loses all of its engineers, everybody's got new looks for Sydney, and we have a Sydney preview. One thing we do love talking about here on Supercars Talk is the paint jobs of the cars, and we've got some new looks coming up for Sydney. Starting off, Tim Slade has a new look it's a nice looking car in normal conditions, but my God, when they lit it up, it is going to look something very special at night. Let's hope a few other teams have, put in a bit of effort for the nighttime races. Scott Pye has a new look. It's pretty similar. Will Brown will be sporting the WD-40 colours that we saw him in at Bathurst. Hopefully he goes a little bit better with them this time round. He had a little bit of trouble. Courtney has a new all-black kind of boost look on his Mustang. Finally starting to get the boost livery looking okay on the Mustang. Quite surprising considering I think the Mustang's probably a better looking car than the ZB. Even everyone knows it's a mutant Stang and things like that. You'd think the liveries would work better on it, but to speak to Peter Adderton and tell, he'll tell you how much easier it is to do a livery on a ZB than what it is on a Mustang. And finally, once again, speaking about boost, the livery came out this week for the Bathurst Wildcard. As long as Murphy and Ritchie can make it across from New Zealand for that, the car looks very smart. I love that Kiwi inspired, livery, considering they're both Kiwis and that. Once again, another good boost livery on a ZB Commodore. While we're on the topic of liveries, R&J Batteries will be sticking around with Brad Jones Racing next year, even though Percat is going. One can only assume that they've signed up to be on Jaime's car from next year, so a little bit of stability there. And instability in the field. It was announced last week that Wes McDougall was leaving Triple Eight, and you kind of went, oh yeah, okay, they're losing one of their engineers. It's not the end of the world. He says he's leaving for personal, I think he actually said medical reasons. A little bit of a worry, maybe a bit too much stress, trying to keep, Jamie under control. Who knows? But David Couchy has handed in his notice. He is the latest mercenary. He's going to Kelly Grove Racing, what will be Grove Racing next year, to go and run the team. Now, a lot of people, once again, you get on the Facebooks and you see the comments, Triple Eight's falling apart and this is the end of Triple Eight and blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's not the end, and this is what, if you're going to have an issue, this is a good issue to have, where they have got so many high-level employees in that place that if you're Couchy, you're looking to move up the ranks somewhere. Now, Wincup's come through and he's going to be running the team along with Jess. So they've kind of, come in and made a jump somewhere. They're both young. They're going to be around for a long time. You've also got Duddo and Jeremy Moore there, heading kind of the engineering department and that. So you've got no chance of moving into, one of those roles, because they're very top-heavy organisation. And it's not like they're old blokes. It's not like maybe if you had like a Campbell Little or someone like that in that role, someone who's getting towards the end of their career, maybe you could say, I'll wait it out a couple of years because then I can make the step up. Really, he's looking at, it could if those guys hang around, there could be 10, 15, 20 years before you can, progress in that team. And it's it's a good problem to have, but then you do lose, some of the guys like, say, Couchy underneath, because they will go elsewhere to find that career progression, which obviously is happening. It's a great coup for the Groves. I nearly said Kelly's. Great coup for them, because they get someone who, he's been high level they are the best team in the country. You can't really argue with that, especially now with Penske gone. They're kind of by themselves again at the top. So you get all of that ingrained knowledge. It's only going to help them. It'll, fast track. I'm a little bit surprised. I can see exactly why it's happened. And Triple Eight aren't falling apart. They'll find themselves. They'll bring someone up from below. It's already looking like, I can't remember off the top of my head the guy's name, but the bloke who's been engineering Brock Feeney all of this year, looks like he's probably going to make the step up with Brock into the main game. And they'll poach someone from another team. That's perfectly fine. It's just if someone leaving Triple Eight, they're a mercenary and, they're dead to me and they're the worst person in the world and whatnot. But poaching someone from another team, that's perfectly fine. That's what happens in racing. But anyway, Triple Eight, they've got to sort out their engineering lineup for next year, and it's not the end of the world, and they'll be fine because they've got cheat sheets for the ZB, and they'll be whoever moves into that role, they'll be up to speed by the time they get to Gen 3, and Dutto and Jeremy Moore are still going to be there, so it's all still roses there for Triple Eight. Do not stress about them. They'll be fine. The lineup of co-drivers at Tickford for the endurance races has finally been announced. Cam Waters and James Moffat will be in the monster car. Thomas Randall will be teaming up with James Courtney in the boost car, and Zach Best has got the call up for Jack LeBrock. I think we covered off Zach Best last week. Makes sense putting him with Jack LeBrock in the third string car that's got all the spare parts in it. Anyway, it's actually a really impressive, Moff and Waters. I did see an article, Moff saying it was his best chance of winning Bathurst. It really is. Waters was brilliant up there last year. Moff's, probably one of the better co-drivers out there now when you run through. He's no Tander, but he's definitely at the top of that kind of second tier. He'll do a great job, on the lunchtime stint. They could be looking really good. And Courtney and Randall, Randall's obviously making the step up into the main game next year. They are going to be a bit of a formidable pairing as well. So that is actually looking quite good for Tickford in the endurance races. Now, we have got some racing on the weekend. You can probably tell by the smile on my face, quite happy about this. It's been a long time since we've seen the cars going around the track in anger. What can we say about the format? Well, we all know 3 125-kilometre races. It's all the same over the next 3 weekends. There will be some night races thrown in there. I didn't bother looking at which one's which or which tyres because, it's going to be the same. I'm just excited that there's racing. If you're looking for a dark horse prediction, apparently the Techno cars have had a birthday, and it didn't actually say that they're up to current spec Triple Eight stuff. So, they're probably been updated to like 2017 spec or something now. But they have been given a freshen up. So we should, maybe they won't be last on the grid. Who knows? For actual predictions for the racing though, how can you look past Shane Van Gisbergen? I fully expect there's a $25,000 prize for the highest point scorer over the 4 rounds. That's basically his to lose. I do, however, think Cam Waters and Chaz Mossert are going to, obviously they'll put in the showing there. They'll probably have, both of them will probably win at least one race because there's so many over the 4 weekends. And the Dick Johnson pairing, I think that's pretty much going to be your top 5 over the 4 rounds. Let's let's see if anyone throws up any surprises, or maybe some of the switcheroos on the tyres do kick anything up. But I'm just excited that there is racing coming up this weekend. So that's a short and sweet preview, pretty much. Last little thing to cover off: the two wildcards are Tom Randall and Kurt Kostecki, nearly said Brody. They will be making an appearance at the second weekend at Sydney to fill their contractual agreements, I suppose, of doing 3 wildcard appearances for the year. So we can only assume that then straight afterwards, Kurt will be announced in the Matt Stone Racing lineup for the endurance races. So there is really only the last seat at Matt Stone Racing that needs to be announced. Down in the comments, let me know who you're tipping. We'll start off for at least this weekend. I should be having an announcement really soon about my Bathurst tipping competition once again for this year. It'll be very similar to what happened last year. I'm not going to announce it though until the prize is here. I have actually shelled out some money for some prizes this year. Haven't just pulled something out of my collection. And also, let me know, I did a little slightly kind of different video, just a quick kind of, in-your-face kind of video that came out on Sunday morning. Let me know what you thought of that. Would you like to see more of those? The idea was to be a bit more short and sharp compared to these kind of normal Tuesday videos, just like one topic, kind of bang it out. It did end up being about 7 minutes long because I did get carried away, as I kind of can do when I get passionate about a subject, and I still forgot to cover some of the things that I wanted to cover in it, like, if we did shut pits, it would probably stop, questions about people blazing past the safety car when the safety car lights are on, because, this is things that some people do for some unknown reason. He is retiring though, so maybe we won't have that issue anymore. But down in the comments, if you'd like to see more like that, did you enjoy it? Is 7 minutes of, just directly on my face, is that just too much to bear? But until next time, there's racing this weekend. I'm happy. I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.